Good morning, everyone. Thank you. It's nice to see you again. When you do walking meditation, like after the sit, you should do like the way that lady does, the bowing lady right now. Okay? Why is that? The technique behind that is that you just finish your sit and you should be relaxed unless your legs are in pain. Okay? So when you walk, it will help reduce the the leg pains a lot quicker. So the more in pain you are, the more briskly you should be walking. So don't be shy. Walk. Okay? But when you walk, that's why I learned very early on, because I watched a Bodhisattva walk, and he taught me how to walk. The arms, like this lady here, basically are hanging off your shoulders, no tension whatsoever. Got that, Diane? There's no effort, because you're walking with your feet, not with your arms. So your arm will naturally follow you because of the movement of your walking, but it will swing by itself. You don't need to do anything, and that's how you can tell right away this person is relaxed or not. You can tell persons by tension, because the tension builds up around your arms. For Diane, for example, it also shows in the way she walks. She walks with so much effort. It's very, very deliberate, if you will. No need. When you walk, the Buddhist way of walking is, what do? You decide you're going to walk that way, and that's it. And the body will take care of itself. You don't have to say 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay? And that's when you're in the military. But we're not in the armed forces, and therefore you can just this is the essence of walking is to relax. Okay? Relaxed means that you let go of the tension. Okay? So, all right? So please keep that in mind. It's something that you can pay attention to by learning not to waste your energy, your life energy. You meditate, you build up this chi, this life energy, and you walk, okay, and you lose it all, okay, and stop thinking, okay. All right. So feel free. Like if your legs are in pain or discomfort, feel free to get up and walk, okay, because you need to restore the blood circulation. That's normal, okay? And we all are practicing here together. Just don't feel that you need to conform and be afraid to stand out, okay? All right, and also last night we also have a class for Asia time, namely Korean times. It turns out last night there, as I was talking, were you there, Jun? Oh. I was talking, I was thinking, and we talked about, what is it? I forgot. Anyone remembers? Thoại, do you remember what we talked about? It seemed pretty important as I was talking, as I was thinking, oh, that's for you, that's for you, that's for you, that's for you too. How come you're not there? So please watch it, okay? It gives good information, like talking to your children, PhDs, and education, and happiness, okay? Spiritual well-being, stuff like that. So every now and then, it's just hit something that's important. All right, so please take advantage of it. Also, Master Xianche, last night you had a class too, right? Okay. I need to remind you that we have multiple classes at Chan at different levels. So Master Xianche is a very, very first level. That's important for the people who wish to learn Chan meditation. And he's going to help you build the proper foundation. Okay, and we build more on top of it. All right? Did you want to say something to advertise your class at Master Xianche? No.
We had a few new people from the neighborhood last night.
From a neighborhood? Oh, finally.
Yeah. So, and Diane was there. She's a regular as well.
Okay, very good. Excellent. That's what we're here for. We try to help the neighbors as well, make ourselves available to the neighbors. Okay, that's why we try to open our doors and accommodate them. All right. Does anyone have any questions or comments or things I'd like to discuss? Okay, so I have to put on a show for you and you just watch, right? Okay, I got it. Okay. Okay, what shall we talk about today? Okay, we can continue, I guess, with Master YongHua's teaching. Oh, we are something like a month away, a little bit over a month away from our winter Chanchi. Okay, and during, thank you very much. Thank you. Oh, you don't need to do that. It makes me feel uncomfortable. William Mountain, go ahead.
This is from Haiti. When I meditate, I just
Haiti,
start.
there's not doing too well over Haiti right now, right? Never mind,
Haiti.
go ahead.
Haiti. This is from Haiti.
Heidi or Haiti?
I usually start reciting Emitofuo. Then I notice that sometimes I'll change it to another mantra, like Medicine Master mantra, Yao Shu Ru Lai. Should I keep continuing or come back to Emitofuo?
It depends on what you are trying to do. If it happens to me quite often too, especially when you've been meditating, you've been reciting, every now and then you drift, and basically what happened is you enter samadhi and you come back and you forgot. So where was I? So you would recite the first thing that would come to your mind. That's all. So it's a normal thing. Don't be alarmed. It's a good thing. And so if you really, when I recite, because I have to work, I have to do something with my recitation, help someone with my recitation. So I usually try to come back to my original recitation. But if you don't really have any particular purpose except go through your daily routine, then it doesn't really matter at all. Okay, but it's always good to go back to what you were reciting if you can remember. Okay, so yes, it's a good thing. It's a good thing actually to catch yourself reciting and changing your recitation. It's usually quite often from your entering samadhi. That's why you lost track. All right, that's very good. Keep it up. How's your tummy, Haiti? Oh, she can't talk. Okay, never mind. Okay. So, in the Chinese, they have this word of wisdom that I started with, because Master Shenhua never really taught me directly. So I had to read his instructions, the translated instructions to English of his, and he said the one thing that stuck in my mind when I first started was, to endure suffering is to end suffering. Okay, and suffering to me when I first started was the leg pains. I couldn't bear it, especially for any sensible person. The leg pains are totally nonsense. Okay, and yet, in order to learn meditation, Chan meditation, his style, he says, endure the pain. Okay, so that's it turns out to be such a wise thing, because later on, it evolved. Although eventually, over time, after 3 months, I was able to conquer my pain and sit for about an hour and a half. That's how slow I was. I had to struggle for everything. Okay, unlike you. Many of you would come to the temple and sit for 45 minutes, half an hour, 45 minutes. I started with 2 minutes, I couldn't take it. Actually, I cried. Okay, I teared up after 2 minutes. Never had this kind of pain before in my entire life. This is totally nonsense. Okay, so, but I'm the type of person where when I'm challenged, I would rise to the occasion and meet it head on. Yes, you too.
Heidi said, I still have the same problem, Master, with her stomach.
It's not getting better, huh? Any better? Okay, no problem. Part of your problem resolution, when you have a problem, okay, Chan meditation will teach you, and that's why I'm glad to hear Heidi's answer today. Chan meditation teaches you, what do you do when you have a problem? What's the difference between you who practices Chan meditation versus the next person? Anyone? Master Xianjie? What do you do when you have a problem?
If you can try to meditate to resolve
Try to
it.
meditate. Okay. Sensible, but illogical. Anyone else? What do you do when you have a problem? What does Chan meditation teach you? Yes, blue, green. Can't hear it? Okay. One more time.
Stop thinking.
Stop thinking. Okay. What else? Anyone else?
First thing you do is you think for other. Then, if the problem still continue, then you seek for the good no advisor to guide you.
Okay. Two Buddhists. Yes, go ahead. Black. Can we talk like normal people?
Master, I think no fear.
No fear. Very good. Anyone else? Yes, Daniel.
I was going to say confront it.
Confront it. Okay. Very good. Anyone else? Yes, Yellow.
Do whatever it takes to not to quit.
Do whatever it takes not to quit. Sounds like this person is a glutton for punishment. Okay, anyone else? Okay.
I would say before I do meditation, my emotion will get disturbed, but I will still try to do something or find a solution. Maybe most of the time that's not the right solution. But after I start to practice Chan, I realize a lot of times certain problem is just a superficial manifestation. There's something deeper about it, and I will try to avoid make decision or do something right at that moment. I will find another time to meditate.
Okay.
Sometimes that can help me see something deeper, or maybe I will work on the root cause and the superficial problem will solve on its own.
Okay. Very Chinese. Anyone else? Wei Mao.
Master, I just first started quit, but then whatever it takes to get through.
To get what?
Whatever
The last
it takes
word.
to get
Couldn't
through.
hear the last word.
Whatever it takes to get through.
Get through it.
Through.
Is that what you said?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I added it, right? Yes, Wei Mountain.
Master, recommend relaxing and deep breathing.
You're relaxing and deep breathing. You mean heavy breathing or deep breathing?
Breathing.
Oh, okay, breathing. Okay, very good. You all got the idea. Let me put it simply this way for you, okay? You learn Chan, what do? The first thing we teach you is face your leg pains. So yes, it combines all those things, okay? Meaning that you have a problem, okay? This Chan training here eventually will make you a different person, if you will, a superior person. What does a superior person do when he or she has a problem? First thing you do is to endure it. What choices do you have? What else can you do? You endure it. Okay? You patiently endure it. So Chan meditation teaches you to endure what cannot be endured. Okay? That's what makes you a better person. The better person endures it first. Okay? Quietly, patiently endured it. Okay? And now that should be the first thing you do, because your pain, for example, okay? Why do you have pain? YouTube, go ahead.
And this is a question from Jason K. When we have pets, for example, a dog, and feed it meat to eat, do we create offenses?
Yes. You perpetuate the cycle of suffering. Meat, what is it? I remember vaguely, meat is about your steaks from Spago is 40% insoluble. You cannot digest it. So you pay like $300 or $400 for a piece of steak from Spago. You go to Spago, Beverly Hills. Try it. one best steaks in the world. Okay, again, okay, no affiliation with Spago here from us. Okay, but for cultural perspectives, anyway, it's 40% you cannot digest. Okay, so you poisoning your body, and then in the process of poisoning it, you're aiding in the killing of living beings. Okay, and so it's not a good thing. Try to avoid it. Yes, there are times where you're with your family and you want to enjoy a good meal together and bond and so forth. I would have no problems doing that. Okay, but in general, in terms of nutrition, you really don't need to eat that much meat. And for the dogs, we had dogs too in our family. We love dogs. I love dogs, and they can eat vegetarian. Dogs can become vegetarian. Okay, but they prefer not to be vegetarian, understandably. Okay? So you can reduce the meat and stuff, and you feed to your dog. Eventually, your dog will not mind anymore, and give him a treat of meat occasionally, but not like it doesn't have to be every day. You too, go ahead.
Jason is asking, is that the reason why in the Bodhisattva precepts we cannot have pets?
We cannot have pets in the Bodhisattva precepts. It's something I haven't pondered yet. It's been a while, so I can't think of a good reason why the Bodhisattva would have that precepts where we cannot have pets. I like pets, so I have a hard time with that precept. So the first reaction. So give me some time to research it, okay? As I get older, I get more sentimental and more carefree. So bear with me. I promise, let me look into that precept again. Why is that? I need to think about that, okay? Usually, when the Buddha taught this precept of not keeping pets, it's for our own good. But right now, I can't think of why it's a good thing. Because as we talked about dogs, I'm getting emotional with dogs. So I can't think straight, okay? Not right now, okay? Sorry, okay? I promise. Remind me, boys and girls in the back, to look into this thing here. Because as usual, when I finish talking, I forget about it. So please remind me. So in child meditation, the first thing you learn, again, the theme is that you learn to endure. Okay? And that's what makes you a better person. You endure it first. You quietly, patiently endure it. Okay? So that's what Heidi did. I did to Heidi. Heidi is a student of mine for many, many years. And she has a lot of illnesses, and she's one thing after another, and she's still pretty young though. Okay, so she's been complaining about this problem of hers. So I told her to try this, try that, and ignored her for a while. See if she would complain. She didn't complain. So after you pass this kind of test, you learn to endure it first. Don't complain. You endure it. And that's how you develop your wisdom. The wisdom cannot be developed unless you are willing to patiently endure your suffering, your difficulties. wisdom is not something you learn. Okay, the kind of wisdom we're talking about is developed from your heart. Okay? And therefore, it must be developed by increasing your patience. Okay? So, anyway, so that's something I'm sure that Heidi would not object to our sharing with you, is I made her endure through a lot of things. Okay? And the more you can endure, the more you understand, and eventually, hopefully, it will get fixed. All right? All right. So you endure, you learn to endure the suffering, because that enduring the suffering right there is directly ending your suffering. All right? So that's why superior people and wise people do that. And in doing that, not only they become more patient, but they also become more compassionate. Okay? Compassion is to be able to feel the pain and suffering of others first, and then be in a position to be able to do something about it yourself, instead of just talking about it. Just, yes, I feel sorry for you. No, do something about it. Don't just talk. Okay? And so that's our take, the Buddhist take on compassion, is that you need to feel the pain and suffering of others, okay? And you need to do something to provide relief. So this process of you going through the training you're going through is actually helping you develop the ability to do something about your pain and suffering first, and then eventually be able to do something for others' pain and suffering. All right? So that's why, and so the key here is, that's why the Chinese sages said, to endure suffering, to end suffering. It is so true. It's a very simple. The wisest things are the simplest sayings. Just endure, and the more you endure, the more you understand why it's so beneficial to do so. All right. So let's try to finish this thing here. This thing here that we've been talking about, that Master Shehan talked about, is that why we cling on to these things out there, material things in the world. It's because we take everything we see as real, we perceive as real. We can feel it's solid, it has a shape, it has a form. We can, and so in essence, who decides is real? We decide is real. You decide is real. So your ego decides it's real. Okay? And that ego there is both the source of all your troubles, your struggles, your difficulties, as well the source of your rising above it. Meaning what? It's the ego who decides that he doesn't like it. She's unhappy. Okay? And because of that, normal people, when they're faced with struggles and difficulties, they run away. They say, no, I'm too smart. I'm going to run away from this because I don't need to face this. Okay? But you run away, the problem is still unresolved. So that's why not only is it still unresolved, but you also are reinforcing your private fear. You're nurturing your own fear of difficulties, your fear of pain, your fear of suffering. The more you run away from it, the less likely you will be able to forget it, the less likely you won't be able to solve it any sooner at all. Okay? Yeah. So that's why this fear here is what ultimately, this is the Chinese secret, the Buddhist secret, that fear there is what prevents you from opening your true wisdom. So that's why since day one, what we do in Chan meditation is that we put you in position to look at your fear. Fear what? Fear of pain. Fear of difficulties. Because it doesn't make sense to you intellectually. Okay? So if you don't drop out, you're willing to face it, you are beginning on the path of conquering that fear, that inner fear, the private fear, that you're too smart to be willing to face it. And that smart of yours is what prevents you from opening your wisdom. It's very, very, very profound wisdom in Buddhism. What is called the obstruction of what is known. Is what you know that obstructs you from opening your wisdom. Is what you know that stops you from making progress. For example, let's talk about something real concrete. You made a fortune. Let's say, I don't know, a fortune nowadays. Cryptocurrency, how much is it? I don't know. 2 Bitcoins? 3? 100? Help me out here, Chun. Okay, Google stocks. Okay, so you made a fortune. You attained your financial goals. Okay, and say, okay, now I can retire. Now I can do whatever I please. Okay, then inherent in that is that you have this fear of losing that security, of losing that money you achieved. Okay, and that's why you stop. You don't take chances anymore, and you're afraid to invest. Okay, to continue to invest. So that's why this knowledge of your success, the knowledge of getting there, knowing that you got there, is what prevents you from making further progress, from going further. Okay, and that is in the Buddhist wisdom is what obstructs not only you, but all of us. I've looked at so many bodhisattvas, for example, disciples of my Chinese master. They're enlightened. They have so much wisdom. They're so accomplished. There's one lay person who's pretty, very, very impressive, okay? And very accomplished, very high level. And exactly what he knows is what's stopping him right now from making further progress. So for us ordinary people, okay, is what that fear is also part of what you know. Does it make sense? So that's why this Chan training is very, very subtle. Okay? It's not meant for you to understand. It's meant for you to do. From doing and following instructions, they're designed to help you overcome these fears. This fear here is a combination is your personal response to what you think is real. Yes? You fear of losing money. Okay? So money is real to you. You fear of losing love, because love is real to you, and so forth. You see that? So it's your ego. Yes, Wei Mountain. Go ahead.
Master, I have difficulty in convincing myself in a certain situation that I am fearful. Is it best to work on that, and when you are fearful, convince yourself that you really are?
Good question. Okay. In this particular, your particular situation, you might want to talk to someone. You want to talk to us, consult with us. It's on each type of fear that you need to learn how to conquer it, how to overcome those fears. Okay? This is why we are around, for these types of situations where wisdom, again, is developed. Your own wisdom is developed by you yourself learning how to solve your own particular problems. Problem number 1, problem number 2, and 3, and 4. That's what happens. It's not a theoretical thing where you say, in general, you should not be fearful. No. When we talk about fear, you say, you have this fear, right? Let's talk about how we can solve that fear. And feel pain, we're going to solve it. Okay? So I used to solve the problems by watching TV and tie up my legs. Okay, and writhe and complain and moan and cry. Okay, but because my legs were tied up, I couldn't unbuckle. So after a while, okay, after weeks, you break through very easily because you have no choice. Okay? You too, go ahead.
Daniel is asked, what about the fear of losing apple? How could someone conquer the fear of losing?
Okay. Reasonable question. You afraid to lose apple? Get an orange. Oranges taste better than apples. All right. He's becoming French. He's so insincere. He said, I'm afraid of losing apple. No, you're not. I don't believe you. All right. So you see, it's the ego that your ego that decides it's real, and it reinforces by your own perceptions. You see the form, you have these feelings, okay? Yeah, these feelings are real to you. You feel love, you feel happiness, you feel sadness, okay? Because it's the reaction you have to external things, to other people. You're thinking, okay? You're thinking, okay? That's what you do all day. You wake up, you think. Okay, immediately. And it's not until you sleep, that's why you stop thinking. And you're so proud of it. Let me think. Okay? All right? And activity, and that's a subconscious activities from your body. Okay? It's also contributes to your perception of the world, of yourself, and consciousness, this awareness. Okay? So all these 5 things, okay? I glossed them over them because I'm trying to finish it. We get stuck here for the last 5-6 weeks already. Okay, and that's what your ego. Those are the 5 components. This is, by the way, this is a very profound Mahayana secret. Okay, if you understand this, this is the key to your breaking down your ego systematically. Okay. You have 2 ways to go about it. You go about it like the Hinayana people. They give you a process, like a recipe. You do it, and they get there, and they don't know how they got there. Okay, but it requires them a long, long time to get there. 10 years or so. In Mahayana, if you understand the secret, why your ego, how your ego functions, you break it down a lot faster, much easier to break it down if you understand the process. Okay? How it functions. Go ahead, you two.
This is from Hei Yun. Does organ donation intervene in someone else's causal retribution? Isn't that compassion for living beings?
Repeat that, please.
Does organ donation intervene in someone else's causal retribution? Isn't that compassion for living beings?
The first phrase I couldn't hear. Is what?
Does
organ donation. Okay. So again, question again. Repeat the question again, please.
Does organ donation...
Organ donation. Okay. Continue.
Does organ donation intervene in someone else's causal retribution? Isn't that compassion for living beings?
Yes, a compassion for living beings, but it's nice of you to donate organs. However, you're going to get in trouble. If you have to ask me, that means that you shouldn't. Okay? This is where I know the medical profession will disagree with me. Most of them will disagree with me. Just because it's a nice thing to do, because it's a wonderful thing to do, you're not aware of the consequences of doing when you donate your organ. For those people who donate their organs, most of them will suffer greatly because they can't handle the pain from the severing of their organs after they die. And because of that, they fall to lower realms. Okay? It's inadvisable to us. We don't recommend it unless you have a lot of samadhi power, a lot of wisdom. That's why you're able to overcome your pain and suffering after you die. If that's the case, you can donate all you want. You should donate your entire body. But if you don't have the skills, you don't have any samadhi, we don't recommend you do that. It's not wise, okay? Because you cannot handle the when doctors cut up your heart. It hurts like hell even after you die, and that pain there will be will make you fall to lower realms. You'll be so afflicted that you can't handle it. Okay? Even the Chinese or the Asians, they have this wisdom is that after you die, you should not allow anyone to touch your body for 8 hours. Chinese wisdom. Very wise thing to do. But for us, it doesn't bother us because we can overcome, we can handle your pain and suffering after 8 hours without, shouldn't affect you. Okay? So So in general, we don't recommend it. Okay, go ahead, Orange.
What if that person, let's say there's a child that passed away. I saw this story in the internet, and then the parent is the one who gave up their organ for donation. Then is the parent who will face with the consequence later, or is it the child who will
The child will fall. The pain is so intense that the child will. This is recently, right? Okay. That child there fell to a lower realm. Okay, and when the child gets back to the human realm, we'll find the parents to make them pay for it. Okay, and so I don't recommend you do that. However, it's a free country. You do as you please. So it's perfectly okay. Either way, I'm fine. I'm just giving you a recommendation from what I know, from what I learned. And on the other hand, if you feel compelled to do that, out of whatever the reasons you have, okay, you can attenuate it. If you do that, then go to a Buddhist temple and have the monks and nuns pray to alleviate the pain and suffering so that the person will not fall. Okay? That's a trick. All right? Yeah. Be careful. There's some consequences. Yeah. Just like when you're alive and someone comes and cuts your fingers. Okay? It hurts. Okay? You get upset. It hurts a lot. Okay? After you die, that's even more serious because you don't have time to recover. The pain there, okay? You have your entire life to recover from this pain. But when this person has only 49 days to recover, and they can't recover quickly enough, so that's why they fall. And get a body in a lower realms. Yes, YouTube, go first.
2 questions. The first one is from Jane. At what samadhi level a deceased person can handle the pain of organ donation?
I wouldn't recommend that you donate your organ until you reach third stage arhats or higher. Okay? Third stage arhat can easily conquer the pain. All right? Second question.
The second question is from Egu. What happens if your body is burned?
The body is burned. You are in great pain. That's not a good thing.
Like during cremation?
In cremation, after a while, it doesn't affect you that much anymore. Okay. But if you burn, for example, because you, let's say you're a firefighter, and you fight a fire, forest fire, and you die in the process, it's not a good thing for them. All right. Yes, Yellow.
Master, I have a question. What about organ donation when people are alive? Sometimes, like the mom would donate kidney for their children, or siblings donate part of liver for their siblings. What happened in those cases? Just curious.
It's a good thing to do to take care of your family members. However, again, there's some consequences. Okay, the medical professionals can only look at the benefits to the living, but they don't know much about the disadvantages to the donor. Yellow.
Alive.
when they're alive.
When they're alive, they're donating part of the organ to their family members.
Yeah, and then as long as they're alive, there's still time for them to recover from that. Okay? What we're talking about is after you're dead and you decide to donate organs. Typically, they need to rush you to the doctors and they cut you up very quickly, right? That window there is too short, and therefore you still experience this extreme pain to your body, because after you die, what happens is your consciousness, in a very short time span there after your death, still believes it has legs, it has a heart, it has a head, it has a body, and that's why when you cut up the body, it affects your consciousness. You experience real pain. Okay, and that's why you'll be in big trouble. Okay, you can't recover. Whereas the people with kung fu, you cut them up like a Thursday Rahat, you cut them up. You say, what pain? They can suppress it just like that. Whereas low-level people, they cannot. They can't help themselves. Okay? But while you're alive and you offer to give your organs to others, it's a good thing to do. Okay? It's still manageable. Go ahead, Orange.
Master, is there a way to decrease your habit energy or my habit energy? And how is that related to the ego in terms of habit energy and the ego? Do they feed on each other?
The habit energies are actually helpful in identifying how your ego functions, your ego's weaknesses. So it's a good thing. You know how to deal with your habit energies. We all have habit energies. That's part of life. Okay, and it's a part of your learning process. So yes, they are helpful to me. They're very helpful. Okay. So just like the question earlier from down south. Okay. He says, I have these fears. What do I do about these fears? Okay, those fears are called habit energies, and that's why for each type of habit, you look at them, and you will figure out a way to conquer and overcome those habit energies and utilize them to open your wisdom. Yes, it's Orange.
Thank you, Master. I just want to share something from my husband, he left already because he had an appointment to go with his friend for mountain bike, I guess. But what he experienced yesterday, he told me that after during the sit, he feels something that just he feels every single pulsation inside his body, down, even down to his port on the skin and on top of his head, and he keep on feeling the energy is going, starting from what he's described to me, I think is Dantian, and it just go up and down, and then throughout his body. And then after that, he feel like he was in a dreaming stage. And then he wake up, he feels so full of energy. But what I notice is that benefit that he have, or whatever good feeling he have, it's carry on to at home. The way he think, it's much more profound than it used to be. Because when seriously, because with the talk that we have about Thiền yesterday, and then he said, "No, this is how people answer, and this is how I feel.
Yeah.
Well, I cannot go into detail, but I said, wow, that's pretty good. And then I teasing around with him. I said, if someone loves someone, and if that person leaves, then that means that person is not, that person is not worthy enough to have the love of the person or something like that. And he say, see, when people start talking like that, that means their ego is talking already. So that's pretty profound when he say, wow, that's pretty good. And he say, it just dawned on me when I brush my teeth, and the thought is like, he said, maybe that is a sudden enlightenment in my little tiny world. That's what he say. Yeah. Just want to share that.
So all your governing of his actions is finally paying off. You too, go ahead. Congratulations, mistress.
This is from Jason K. If people have cats as pets, and cats are carnivores, they have to eat meat to survive. Is the best way then to give them away so we don't create offenses?
Yes, that's one of the reasons why the Bodhisattva precepts prohibits you from having pets. I remember now, okay? It's because pets are carnivores. So when you maintain pets, you are actually indirectly killing karmas because of those pets. You feed them with meat and stuff. And that's why you're creating offenses via your pets. So that's why Bodhisattva precept prohibits you from keeping pets. Okay, I don't need to do research anymore. Okay, thank you. So he answered himself by asking the question. Very good. And the exception is the dogs, where some dogs are actually can be vegetarian, especially the dogs who stay at temples. They all became vegetarians. Okay. Now, before we close here, let me make a comment about this lady here who's the mistress lady. Okay. Exactly. That's what happened. What happened is you, as you meditate, okay, you will eventually, especially if you endure the leg pains, it's not uncommon for you to experience the chi flowing in your body. Okay, what she described is true. What you will feel is that this awareness this number 5, item number 5 here, this consciousness is your awareness. Okay, your chant meditation will heighten your awareness, or that's your ego right there, becoming aware of these things. So it's aware of the energy moving throughout your body, okay, and it goes up and down your spine, okay. In this, there's one thing you'll be aware of, as long as it also moves throughout your body, through the meridians, channels as well. So it's a natural occurrence in your body 24 hours a day. It's nothing new. It's happening whether you're aware of it or not. Okay? So you're only confirming what the teaching has been telling you. And number 2 is that he became lighter and so forth, is because he improved to the next level. And that's why his mistress noticed he became a little bit wiser, have more insights. Okay, that's a proof right there. That is, your thinking is from a higher plane. You can see better. You can see more. Okay, so that's why the mistress notices that. Oh, you're so wise, and so the insights are you're more insightful than before. It's because he has better perspectives on things. So congratulations. Wei Mount, last question here.
No, I would just say it's so wonderful he experienced that. If he becomes enlightened, please come back and save us.
Come back and save us. Okay. I'll leave it with him for him to decide. Actually, you should talk to his mistress. First. Okay. No, he's not enlightened yet. He's quite a ways from being enlightened. But it's for us to know, for him to find out. Anyway, we stop here today. Thank you all. And let's go all go have lunch. Hey, he's here.